There we go. Alright, now you guys are all safe and secure. I'm up here in the danger zone. I want to make sure if anything goes wrong, you know what to do. There's 2 radios, one down here in the dash, the other one up on the counter. Use either of these devices to call a mayday for me. You're going to say something like, our driver's fallen in, he's gone for a swim. They'll send someone else out to finish the tour for you. If I am out there treading water, there's a line for head the front and the back of the boat. I'd appreciate it if you could throw me one of those. These windows here, keep them closed, guys. They don't keep the crocodiles out, they keep you guys in the boat. So please don't try and squeeze your camera, you go throw your kids out past them. That's about it for a safety briefing. Let's go and see some crocodiles. Welcome to Harley's and welcome to our Melaleuca wetland. This is the largest enclosure on display. It's home to 30 saltwater crocodiles. We have 22 lovely little ladies and 8 very lucky boys. And on both sides you're about to see one of our girls. On your right you've got little girl. On your left you've got Oprah. Now Oprah is actually our largest female in here. The last time we measured her she was 3.2 meters. Crocodile females tend to average out about 2.5 to 2.8 meters, so she's exceeded our expectations. She's one of the biggest female crocs we've ever seen. And if you have a look at her on the left hand side of her head, her right eyeball, unfortunately is missing. Little girl down there as well. Pretty common behaviour you'll see around the park today, sitting in the sun, trying to soak up as much heat as they can. Crocodiles are ectothermic, what we used to call cold-blooded. They rely on the sun or outside sources to warm themselves up. Unlike us, we just eat food to maintain our body temperature. What we've really tried to do out here at Hartley's is replicate the crocodile's natural habitat as best as possible. And by replicate, we aren't joking. This is all man-made. 20 years ago, it was just a paddock. It took the team about 8 years, roughly, to dig it all out. A bit of compacting, a bit of landscaping, planted about 5,000 trees, introduced a few species of fish, and then the 30 crocodiles we see today. Now, 20 years later, we have about 19 different species of fish. Plenty of bird life has been attracted to the lagoon. There's turtles that have made their way in here, and a few eels as well have popped up out of nowhere. Although these are all saltwater crocodiles, this lagoon, and every lagoon or pond here at Hartley's, is fresh water. Because these crocodiles prefer it like that. In fact, in Australia, about 2/3 of saltwater crocodiles will never see that saltwater they're named after. Very misleading name. One of our girls out here, she's a wild-caught female from a rehabilitation program. She was found in the wild completely blind. She couldn't hunt for herself, she couldn't defend for herself either. It's much safer for here at Hartley's. When we put her in the lagoon though, all the male crocodiles were terrified of her for some reason. So we had to be creative with the name. We ended up calling her Lorraine Bobbitt. If you're familiar with that story, pretty tragic. If you're male, the rest of you, you're very lucky you can't Google it. We've got no reception anyway. Here's your first dominant male of the two guys. This is Scar. He's about 3.3 meters long and about 200 kilos. He does have his little girlfriend just behind him. There's a corner girl down there. She's only about 2.5 meters. Now I like these two here because they are a great spot to see the comparison between sizing of them too. Your males average about 4 meters. He's not even there yet. 3.5, 3.3 meters. And her at 2.5. She's about average. He's the third largest in here. The largest in the lagoon. His name is Zont. I've seen him a few times today. He's been getting around. He is 4.5 meters. It's about 500 kilos. If we see him, I'll point him out. He's been getting around today. We're coming into the breeding season, so he's been, finding all the girls and working his stuff. September through to March is breeding season. They'll go ahead and lay about 40 to 60 eggs. As we come through this channel here, I'll point out a few nests. One of our girls on the left-hand side. This is Spillway Girl. We have accurate records on that croc because she's born here, so we know how old she is. Turning 36 this year. Most of your crocodiles pulled from the wild, we don't know how old they are. We also don't know how old they can get just yet either. Mystery. There we go, we've got 2 on your starboard side, right-hand side of the boat at the moment. One of our boys, his name is Drew, sitting on the bank. Probably not a very scary name to you guys, that's my boss's name, so it's terrifying to me. Drew actually used to work with Steve Irwin back in the day. There wasn't many people back in the 80s working with crocodiles in the entertainment aspect. So Steve used to come to this park and talk to Drew on how to work with crocodiles, different techniques, different habitats and husbandry skills. I told that story to a boat recently. A little kid comes to me afterwards and goes, "Does Steve Irwin work here?" No, buddy. Is he here today though? I just looked around and said, "Nobody tell him. Let him enjoy the rest of his day." I don't know if you can see down the back of that crocodile's throat. They have a modified tongue at the very back with a palatal valve. It's a piece of skin that faces backwards. That'll become really important in a little bit later on in this tour. Crocodiles can't swallow underwater because of it. They keep their head above the surface, open that valve, and all the food to fall back down. Alright, crocodile nest at the top of that hill. It's behind that little log there. That stump. There's one more nest at the top of this hill here. It's about a metre tall pile of vegetation. Looks like a big mound of mulch. Essentially, that's all it is. Big pile of leaves and dirt. Decomposing vegetation keeps the eggs nice and warm. This is a dusky moorhen down here, commonly known as a chicken nugget around this place. Terrible. Alright, so as we get around the corner here, this is the main area of the lagoon. It really starts to widen out. This is where the majority of the crocodiles tend to hang out too, so it's not the same like dusky moorhen. Little woolly wagtail, little fantail down the end there. Very brave little bird. I've seen him chase crocodiles and cockatoos and birds 5 times its size. Alright, here we go. This is the main area of the lagoon. Let's go find some crocs. We have one on the left hand side. Yeah, did you miss it? That's fake down there. By that, I mean it's her name is fake. We get the question every day, is that crocodile fake? So we decided to name one that. So we can say, yes, that is fake. This is going to make it sound like I'm making things up. This is random on the left hand side here. I could make things up, you'd have no idea. Say whatever I want.
Oh, we passed it now. I've got a photo of it though.
Alright, let's go find some big crocodiles. Whether you first boat out of the lot, we have the best choice. I reckon we're going to putt just past this bulrush here on the right hand side. There's a big sunny bank. Most of the crocodiles like to hang out. Zoom over there and see who's home. If not, I can see one of our big boys directly down the end there. So we're going to say hello to, I reckon. And then I'm just going to see one so far on this right hand bank. This is the little local hangout. Doesn't look like too many people at home though, so we've got. There's 2 there. We do have one of our girls on the left hand side, just in the shallows there. I don't know if you can see her head poking out of the water. There's one crocodile behind that log in the water as well, one of our big boys. Alright. Let's start the right hand side, just because it's easier for this boat to pull up with the wind as well. So right hand side, I'm going to ask you guys to stay still. Once we get a bit closer and we stop this boat, left hand side, you can stand up and look over their shoulders. Ooh, this crocodile here has been a troublemaker. He's been causing lots of fights lately. Let's see how he's feeling today. Don't ever waste your time with him. See what he's up to. The big boy down the back there as well. Bit of a slight touch against the bank here, guys. Alright, a little bit of touch. There we go. Alright, so right hand side, you guys just stay where you are. Left hand side, feel free to stand up. Look over their shoulders and I'll repeat the process on the other side. Don't all just go rushing to the one side. I don't want to end up in the water today. No, we'll be fine. Alrighty, let's just see how he's going. I'm just going to get a bit of a reaction out of him, a bit of a noise. Touch him on the foot, see what he's up to. There you go, buddy. There you go. Alright, he's awake. He's there. He's keen. Or not. Straight back to sleep. Let's change it. I'll put a bit of food on there, see if that coerces attention out of him. We're going to start small, and then we're going to work our way up. We'll see how we go. Should be cool. The bigger the piece, the bigger the effort the crocodiles will exert, as it's more reward. They don't need to eat much though. This crocodile here, even though he's like 180 kilos, he'd be happy with about 1 to 2 chickens a week. That is it. He's a very, very efficient energy user. I'm going to try and get this big boy's attention at the same time. See if we can get him to come down too. Alright, if not, we'll just stick around with this one. What are you up to, buddy? You've been staring me up, making my job hard, so I'm now going to annoy you. We're coming into the breeding season, so he's trying to work his way up in the hierarchy. He's trying to impress the girlfriends, trying to make himself look like the big tough boy. But he's actually just being causing a bit of strife, and all the girls don't like him anymore. They keep flying away from him or swimming away from him. Come on, buddy, you're a big apex predator. There you go, he's up, his eyes open now. If he doesn't really react much more, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, guys. I think he's not hungry. Not much I can do. He's bigger than me. He's got big teeth. Weighs 180 kilos. I'm not going to get in there and yell at him. Alright, I don't want to... Oh, come on, buddy, wake up for me. No, I don't want to... It just looks bad, guys. I'm just rubbing all over his face, just trying to get his attention. I'm trying to get him to smell it, alright? That's the main thing. They've got a tremendous sense of smell. I'm just going to shift down to this girl. At least she's got her eyes open. So this is actually one of our boys. Didn't mean to misidentify you, sorry, buddy. This is Dwayne down here. Dwayne the Croc Johnson. Terrible. That was Goanna. Didn't even introduce aggressive. I think that's why I didn't like people. So just to make this easy, saves us having to shift the boat and waste time. I'm just going to get this crop on the left-hand side, then we'll repeat the process on the other side in just a moment. So hopefully this one's interested. I do want to confirm it has been pretty chilly up here in North Queensland. You guys might not expect it, but they prefer a temperature between 27 and 33 degrees. So these cooler mornings we've been having, it's taking the crocodiles a lot longer to fire up. Look at the fish under them. Alright, you've got a bit more attention, that's good. Alright, bring them feet forward. Really, here we go. We're onto something now. There's a juvenile Nankeen night heron, that funny little bird that's just flown down then, if you can see it. Oh, watch out for the tree. Most certainly they do chase after them, but they don't eat them as much as you'd expect. I've only ever seen 2 birds taken here in my time, and both of them, they didn't get eaten. They were doing something they shouldn't have. The crocodile had a bit of food stuck in its teeth. The bird came over to try and eat it, and the croc said, "Oi, go away, I don't like that." Didn't even eat the bird, just told it to bugger off. And unfortunately, if you mess around with the strongest bite on the planet, you're not going to win, are you? You're onto it. Alright, a little touch against the tree here. Alright. Let's see if we can get some crocodile action. Still? She can't be far away. She'll be lingering just below us somewhere down here.
We've got one over here.
Yeah, excellent. Alright, cool. At least someone wants to play ball. Let's not fetch this time. Perfect crocodile hunting behaviour. They don't want to be seen. They are ambush predators. 65 million years they've been hunting right on the water's edge here. Oh, hello, there's the girl again.
Oh.
Come on back this way for me, Dinah. Let's see if we can get a few window jumps. Trying to lose this whole piece again. She can feel those water droplets hitting the surface. She has a bunch of pressure receptors all over her body. Thousands of tiny little nerve endings that pick up on tiny little sensitive movements. That's how they hunt in dark and murky conditions. Come on, Dinah. Doesn't matter, you got too much food now, you're all full, aren't you? Where's that other crocodile? Can't be far away. I reckon she's probably got a bit of an idea that it is coming in. Crocodiles can feel the vibrations from the crocodiles swimming through the water, and usually you'll watch their eyes just go out sideways. They're not paying attention to anything. Yeah, see how she's not paying attention to the food whatsoever. I reckon she's going to run away in a second, and there's going to be another crocodile pop up in just a moment. So just do a bit of splashing around, see who's here. They're going to figure out which is the bigger crocodile right now. Crocodile world is all about size. It's just out there, coming in now. This is the girl who's sitting still just here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's the other one. You can see it about to come up. This is called the minimum exposure posture, or freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, you lost it.
Let me get some more food up really quickly for you. We'll try and get some action with that one down there. And yeah, here she is. Ready? She'll lift her head up, open that valve, allow all the food to get back down.
Do they actively hunt you if you're on the shore, beyond the bank?
They will stalk you, but they're not going to come out of the water any more than, say, 1 to possibly 2 body lengths. That's it. They are ambush predators. They're not going to consistently chase after you hundreds of meters out of the water. See the size of his legs? Not designed for running very fast. Yes. I'll tell you for a fact, you can run faster than a crocodile. If you couldn't, I wouldn't be standing in front of you. You can't swim faster than them though, so your best way to stay safe is keep it out of the water. Up here, it's not just crocodiles. We have bull sharks, tiger sharks, hammerhead sharks, irukandji, box jellyfish, crocodiles, bogans. Come on down here. You got everything to watch out for. So your best way to do is anywhere you suspect it could be saltwater crocodiles, it's 5 minutes from the high tide mark. If you're setting up camp, you're 50 metres from the water's edge, or the high tide, sorry. Get my words all over the place, concentrating the crocodiles instead. 5 metres from the water's edge, if you're setting up camp, 50 metres from the high tide mark. It's going to give you a good head start, that's the main thing. What's your problem? This guy here is one of our newer wild caught males. He broke into a barramundi farm about 2.5 hours south of Cairns. Pretty much cleaned him out. So he's been a bit hesitant. He isn't as confident with people and with the boats, as the other crocodiles are, he just hasn't experienced being fed like this as much as your captive crocodiles. You got the wrong piece, but oh well. There you go. Nice big jaw pop for you. That is the sound of the strongest bite on the planet. Nothing bites harder than a saltwater crocodile. 5.1 metre croc has been recorded at about 5,000 psi, so pounds per square inch. Essentially a small four-wheel drive, biting down and landing on every single one of his teeth. Absolutely crazy stuff. The next equivalent animal was a hippo at 2,500 psi. African lion about 500. Great white, I read up yesterday, 650 psi. There you go, head above the water. Nothing beats a crocodile. Phenomenal bite force. This isn't just the force behind it, it's the speed, and then those teeth are designed to rip onto prey, pull you back into the water where they can hold their breath for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, up to 7.5 hours. Oh dear, we don't want that to happen. You guys trying to jump down. Again. Cut this boat off real quick. One on the top there, if you can see her, it's eye gone. One eye, that's gone. Alrighty, we should see our smallest crocodile now and the largest crocodile. Both in the Lecker area. Let's see what now. The smallest one is on the left hand side, this island just here, this is Colgate. One down here. There we go, swimming away. Shop girl on the left hand side. Supposed to follow the boats around all day, she's a bit of a troublemaker. Here's Colgate, one of my favourite in the lagoon. One of them are fairly white. There you go, Colgate. And if we're lucky, the big boy's been hanging out behind this island all day. Yep, I can still see him down there. So this is Zont, 4.5 metres, half a tonne, 500 kilos. He is wild caught, this is about as close as we get to him. He was responsible for taking about 13 cattle back in the 80s. A farmer's property called the Zontas. Usually in that area, back in those times, they would just give him the lead treatment. We're very grateful that in that instance they gave the DES a call, which then brought him to a place like this where he can live the rest of his life safely. We can show him off in a much safer manner. I get quite often, oh that's a shame, we pulled him out of the wild. Do you want that in your river systems? Live up here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alright, so I'll ask you to stay seated while we come to a complete stop, just in case there's a bump or two. As you leave the boat, have a bit of a look around behind you. Make sure you haven't left anything on your seats. Find things every day. There's your quick little tour. Again, if you want to see some crazy action, tag along to the Crocodile Attack show, because where it all goes down.